Bible school this year was another tremendous success, another evidence of God's good work. We had 385 approximately in Bible school this year. We had a staff of workers of around 68. That's a record for staff workers in Bible school. We had a couple of other precedents that were set this year. There were 2 working fathers who worked it out to be involved in Bible school and teaching capacities. Also, we had working mothers who arranged vacations the very week of Bible school so that they could be here to work in Bible school. Now, what that says to me is that there must be something special about Bible school that would entice or appeal to working people who want to change their schedule so that they can be a part of Bible school. I know what it is because after working in Bible school for almost 9 years now, I know what it is about Bible school that brings people in and makes them want to work. It's because there is a spirit of joy and excitement in watching what the Lord does. Let me tell you about a few of the behind-the-scene workers. We've had a staff of around 9 ladies who have worked in the refreshment area every day, serving the children and making them as happy as they can, cleaning up small spills and taking care of Oreo-covered faces. So we've had a wonderful time, and the Rosa Easter Day has been the one that has organized the workers back there and purchased the snacks, and we thank all of you who have worked back there. Debbie Mayberry has worked and coordinated in the area of crafts. If any of you went to Bible school as a child and I were to ask you what you remembered about Vacation Bible School, I know that one of the things you'd say are the crafts. And at least that's what I remember. And Debbie believes that this is an important area for children to learn and to learn to use their hands and to use the talents that the Lord has placed in them. And Debbie has coordinated skill-related crafts to each one of the children's groups, and you can ask them again if they've enjoyed what they've done, and I know they'll tell you yes. So Debbie, I thank you, and I thank your staff. She's had a staff of around 8 workers who have worked with her each day. We had an activities time, and Roger Flint and Melissa Osborne would take the children outside for various activities and games, and they've had a wonderful time, and I thank Roger and Melissa. Also, we've had 2 roving storytellers who have gone from classroom to classroom to tell the stories of truth brought to us by the Lord's Word. And Peggy Cox and Patsy Lloyd have done that, and we offer a great deal of thanks to them. These are just a few of the people who have worked. We've had Chris and Ed Murphy and Bob Johnson who've run the buses every morning, picking up your children and bringing them home again safely. I really made a mistake by beginning to mention just a few of the people because, as I said before, there are over 68 who have worked so hard to make it a success this week.
I'm Cheryl Hamilton, and I assisted in the 3-year-old department this week. Loretta May was our director, and our helpers were Lola Brigance, Claudia Land, and Jane Buzzard.
My name's Glenda Moss. Beverly Holstein was the director of this group, and the other workers in our group was Karen Ganote, Dot Simons, Ginger Hauk, Amber Wellmeyer, and Carmen Inzer.
And I want to introduce to you the leader in the 5-year-old group. This is Cindy Goff.
Let's see, I've been a helper for the last, 2 or 3 years. And Pat Clutie last year asked me if I'd be the director. She asked me right after Vacation Bible School was over, and I said no. And then it dawned on me, I had prayed just 2 nights before, now, Lord, I want you to use my life, and whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. So I had to call her back and tell her, well, sure, I'll be the director of the 5-year-olds, because I had just prayed to God to use me, and he was. So this was my first year to be the director, and what an experience it was.
5-year-olds are real busy people, so I had lots of terrific helpers. Their names were Michelle Bertram, Linda Dean, Pam Durkee, Sharon Odom, Gay Ruff, Sandy Smith, Tony Weston, and Cheryl Keene filled in today.
I'd like to introduce, first of all, our first grade director, Mrs. Sherry Harrison, and then following her will be our second grade director, Jackie McClendon.
Anyway, I'd like to introduce my workers. I've got Sarah Pancake, Sandy Haley, Linda England, and her daughter Rochelle England helped. And then Dorothy Markham and Biff Moore also helped us.
I was director for the second grade, and I had 3 helpers. And they were really more than helpers. Each one did more than their call of duty, and they were excellent the whole week. And without them, I could have never made it. It was Fleta Patton, Connie Cagle, and Jane Cardell. Thank God for the weather. It's a happy day. I'm living for my Lord. It's a happy day. And things are gonna get better. Living shade by the promises in God's word. Living shade by the promises in God's word.
I'd like to introduce to you Valerie Smith, who assisted Steve Clutie in the 3rd and 4th grade group this week.
Connie Patchen was our other worker this week, and she is one of those working mothers that was just mentioned who took time out to help during Vacation Bible School this week.
Lay my life before you. How I love you. Jesus, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. Spirit, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. Father, I adore you. Lay my life before you. Hang my life before you. How I love you. Lay my life before you. Hang my life before you. How I love you. Lay my life before you. Hang my life before you. How I love you. He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. It took me just a week to make the moon and the stars, the sun and the earth and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient he must be. He's still working on me. He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. It took him just a week to make the moon and the stars, the sun and the earth and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient he must be. He's still working on me.
We are the 5th and 6th grades. Our teachers are Debbie Anderson, Jerry Crotch, Sherry Hovland, and Louise Bandy.
Come let us worship the King. Jesus the Savior is born. For the Lord will reign over all the earth. Come let us worship the King. Jesus the Savior is born. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. All the earth, let us worship the King. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. At the end of broken dreams, He's the open door. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. When will we realize that people need the Lord?
Vacation Bible School seems to have that tradition of belonging to the little children. And it was not our attempt to do something that would be irrelevant to the 7th and 8th graders. So we provided them with a leadership training seminar, and they were our student leaders throughout Bible school. I'd like to introduce to you the leader of the 7th and 8th grade group, and that was Linda Cartwright.
I think that they've all grown this week, and I know that we've all learned to love them very much. Also, they did go out into the nursery and the 3-year-olds and relieve the workers there, which I know that the workers said that they looked forward to that break every day. Also, today we visited a nursing home and shared our testimony with some of the women and men out at the nursing home for an hour or so. And then also every day we gave a skit in our closing ceremonies. I'd like to introduce the people that helped me this week. Betty Bartlett and Terry Goff took off about 2 hours of work every day and came and worked with the young people. And we really appreciated him doing that.
One of the areas in Bible school that is pivotal in terms of the success of the Bible school is the music. And this year, the Lord brought to us Mary Beth Smith. There's probably more God-given talents and abilities in that lady than almost anyone I can think of. And the neat thing about it is that she is so willing to use those God-given gifts and talents to the glory of Jesus Christ. The songs that the children sang Friday night, and to see the looks on their faces was evidence of what Mary Beth and her able pianist, Sharon Morgan, had done with those children. When I'd walk through the classes as the children were rehearsing their music throughout the week, Mary Beth was constantly animated, just so filled with joy, and seems to enjoy teaching the children that there isn't a sense of duty that drives Mary Beth. It's joy in Jesus that drives Mary Beth.
So all the children gathered around him, and one little girl proceeded to tell him how she knew Randy thought Philip sang horrible, and Randy had even said so in front of everybody. And she thought Randy was probably right. Philip did have an awful singing voice. And of course, Philip just sat there and laughed. This little 5-year-old's putting him down. What can you do? Out of the mouths of babes, huh?
I think one of the duties of the director and the assistant director, and Carol Hicks was such a big help to me this year. I know that Carol's always standing in the wings saying, "But Pat, did you remember to do this?" And, "Oh yes, Pat, remember to do this." And if it wasn't for Carol, things wouldn't have been accomplished as they were. But as I think the duty of the director as well as the assistant director is to just be attuned to how the parents are feeling about Bible school, how the students are feeling about Bible school, and how the teachers are feeling about Bible school. And one day as the children were coming in, I saw one of the mothers, and I met her there. She really seemed to be in a hurry, and I said, "Could I help you?" And she said, "Where's the 3-year-old room? I really need to talk to the 3-year-old teacher." And I said, "Well, could I help you?" And she said, "No, I just need to talk to the 3-year-old teacher. I asked my son this morning in a cheerful way, 'Well, son, what are you going to do in Bible school today?' And he said, 'We're going to have a good day. We're going to learn how to make babies.'" And so she just wanted to really check on what the curriculum was that was being used in the 3-year-old Bible school.
Sometimes working with 5-year-olds, they're all talking at the same time, and you feel like you're not getting through to them, and you try to make your points, and you just wonder how much of it they're really grasping. And one of the last days we came in here with the children to film, and one little boy, I can't remember the question you asked Sean, but one little boy quoted one of the memory verses that we had been studying, and we just had briefly gone over it. We really had not put that much work into it, but it dawned on me, gosh, they're really picking up things that I don't think they're even paying much attention to, but it's sinking in. They're remembering.
About 24 to 48 hours before Bible school begins, I always am struck with a real feeling of incompetence, that what I've done hasn't been right or it hasn't been good enough, and that the preparation isn't adequate for the Bible school. But what I find out and what I learn every year and what the Lord has to remind me is that it doesn't matter what I do, it's what He is going to do. Now, I know that He isn't going to bless incompetence, but nonetheless, what He does in working things out and making things work together couldn't be anything but divine.
And people who think that, gosh, 5-year-olds in Vacation Bible School, what could they possibly be learning other than doing little handicrafts and making crosses out of popsicle sticks? I have a 3-year-old. He's not quite 3 yet. And this was his first year to participate in Vacation Bible School. And he came home all week long telling me and reciting little things that he'd learned. In fact, this morning he woke me up by singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands" and singing a little song about being fishers of men, and Jesus said, "Follow me." And I told him, I said, "Zach, I know that story too. It's in the Bible." And he was so pleased that we both knew that I knew what he was talking about. So I think that laying that foundation is so important.
Other than those 32 who made that decision to invite Christ into their hearts, the seeds were planted in the hearts of almost 330 or 340 young people. And I don't know who will water those seeds, but I know that the seeds of his message, of his gospel message, have been planted. And I trust that in his work and in his sovereign will, that all of those children will someday know Jesus Christ as their Savior and as the Lord of their lives.
Boys and girls for Jesus, this our earnest prayer. Boys and girls for Jesus, home and school and play and everywhere.